Good morning everybody, and thank you for joining me again. Now, if you remember in the last video I said that next time out I'd be testing the new 15-inch double D concentric coil by Teknetics. Now, the coil has been very kindly sent to me by Graham from Unearthed UK Limited, so thank you Graham. Now obviously Graham and Teknetics want me to field test this coil to see what it's like. Now you might have thought they'd have picked somebody a little bit more famous than me, but they didn't, so you've got me, whether you like it or not. But there's one thing that you can be sure about when I'm testing it. If it's rubbish, I'll tell you it's rubbish. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good. Now, I wanted to go on the same piece of land that I detected last time when I found all those coins, but I can't because it's over there and there's a big herd of cows on it, so I'm afraid that's out of the question. So I've picked this field today because it did have crops in it, but they've cut it, the crops have gone, they've rough ploughed it. I've been in this field before many times, but I haven't had much success, so I thought I'd try the new coil on this land just to see if it can wheedle anything out that I couldn't find before with the stock coil. Okie dokie. Right, let's get on with it. Right, first of all boys and girls, we're going to ground balance the machine just to make sure that the machine ground balances okay with the new coil. So we'll turn the sensitivity down to 0 first, which you should always do, doesn't matter what machine you're using. And the machine is ground balancing at 60, which is about right for these conditions. So I'm going to turn the sensitivity up to 80. I'm going to turn the discrimination up to 40, and I'm going to go straight into the boost program for the extra depth due to the soil conditions, and that's the machine set up. Right, I'll catch you all on the first decent signal that we get, my friends. Right boys and girls, got a target down here, came up at 79 on the ID scale. It's only about 4 or 5 inches deep, and I'm hoping that we've got the first coin of the day after about 10 minutes. I think I can see the edge of it just down there, and I'm hoping it's a coin and not a button, although there's nothing wrong with a good button. Yeah, almost certain it's a coin. Might get something off it, feels a little bit like George III-ish. Anyway, I'm not bothered who it is. Okay, we'll pop it in the little boxy thing and we'll crack on boys and girls. Right boys and girls, we've got a target down here. I should say it's probably about 10 or 11 inches deep. It's down there, my friends. I mean, fortunately the deeper you get, the more moist the soil is. It came up at 84 on the ID scale, and I think, in fact I don't think, I know, we've got a very nice little buckle. Could be a shoe buckle, probably from the 1600s. I'll let you have a look at that. There we are boys and girls, a very nice little buckle. I'm really pleased with that. As I say, I think it's probably from the 1600s, possibly 1700s. I'm no buckle expert, but a very nice find all the same. Right boys and girls, into the bag with it and we'll get a bit further. Right boys and girls, I'll tell you something, this rough plough is really hard work. Walking on it, that is. I've nearly fell over twice. Anyway, got a signal down here, came up at 79.88 on the ID scale. Well actually we've got two for the price of one, but one's not metal detecting related. It's a piece of medieval pottery. It looks like the handle off a jug or something. Anyway, that's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is right down there. And it looks as though we've got another buckle. Yeah. Not as nice as the last one, admittedly, but it's another nice little find, and a deep one. I'll let you have a look at that without tripping up on the rough plough. Right, there you go, my friends, another nice little buckle. Probably Victorian, that one. Anyway, we'll fill the hole in and we'll get a bit further, my friends. Right, boys and girls, another unidentified object, only about 6 inches deep. Came up at 85 on the ID scale. Haven't got the faintest idea what it is. Oh, actually, are those little reedy things, do you know what I mean, out of a mouth organ or something like that? I don't really know, I'm just clutching at straws here, but we'll clean it up later and have a better look. Right, into the bag with it and off we go. Hello boys and girls, I'm just having a sit down in the shade because it's about 30 degrees out there now, and I'm just under these lovely trees on an old pack horse trail. And it's such a beautiful place, lovely and peaceful, nobody else in sight, so quiet. Anyway, just thought I'd share this moment with you. Apart from the heat and the horrible rough ploughed field, it's an absolute pleasure to be out here. Right, catch you later boys and girls. Well my good friends, I think we've at last got another coin. Most of the soils fell back into the hole, but it was only about 6 inches deep anyway. Looks a bit crusty. No change there then. I don't know, it could be a George III halfpenny, something like that. Okie dokie, we'll pop it into the box and get a little bit further. Right boys and girls, well I'll tell you something, I've got a right sweat on heart here. Now, we've got a target down here. But there was 2 targets in the hole, which is why the hole's so big. The first target, which was in the edge, round about there, is just a piece of scrap copper or whatever it is. But I ran the detector over it again, and there's another signal right down in the bottom, and it's going on for about 11 inches deep. Now as you can see, I've got my glasses on, because I think we might have a little silver coin. Wherever it's gone. Here we are. Oh yes. I don't think it's a hammered silver coin. I think it's actually William III. But I'll let you have a look at that. Look at that bugger. I'm almost sure that that's William III. You know, 1600 and whatever. I think it was one of the first ever proper coins they minted with a milled edge. There's got 4 shields on the back. As I say, I think it's William III, William of Orange. That's an absolutely cracking find. Right boys and girls, into the special little boxy thing with that one, and we'll crack on. Well boys and girls, I decided to detect up the side of this hedge just to get some shade. Well, I'm glad I did, because we've got a surface find down here, and it's just there my friends, just lying on the top. Didn't even have to dig it up. I don't think it's very old. Might be George V or somebody like that. Anyway, I don't care, it's another coin. I think I can see a bloke's head facing left. I could be wrong. Anyway, into the box with it and we'll crack on. Right boys and girls, that's me done. It's still about 30 degrees and that rough plough is extremely hard work. I'm knackered. Anyway, we've had a few decent little finds. I'm quite happy with them. So we'll get back home, I'll clean the finds up, we'll have a better look at them, and then we'll discuss what I think about the big coil. Okie dokie, I'll see you in a while. Hello my friends and welcome back. Now before we start, I've just got a few shout outs I'd like to do. I've got my t-shirt, Phil, thank you very much. This was from Phil Griffiths from El Campello Metal Detecting in Spain. Pop over and give it a watch, it's a good channel. I also got a couple of nice stickers from Floyd the Detectorist, one of which I've given to my friend Craig, who says thank you very much Floyd, and a nice covering letter to go with it. And I also got 4 stickers from Jason from the Detecting Smiths with a nice card and a nice covering letter inside the card. I got 2 of their older stickers and 2 of their new stickers, and they're very nice actually, so thank you very much Jason, nice one. Right, I'd also like to give a shout out again to Graham Rushton, who very kindly sent me the coil to field test. Now you may or may not be aware, but Graham has a very good YouTube channel. He does lots of talks on metal detecting, and he also gives a lot of talks about metal detecting related subjects. He also does radio broadcasts. In fact, he did one the other day about the wonderful find up on the Scottish borders, but I'm not going to say too much about that. Pop over to his channel and listen to the radio broadcast because it's very good. Now Graham does have a metal detecting shop, and I don't mind admitting that that's where I got my detector from, including several other bits and pieces. His prices are fair, he's a good honest bloke, so go over and have a look at his shop as well. Now I think it's important to say that one of the good things about Graham is that if you have any problems, he's always at the end of the phone if you want to chat. Okay, so that's Graham Rushton from Unearthed UK. Right, finds wise, lots of scrap lead, scrap copper, little bits of rubbish, a button, a wheel off a Victorian train set, a spoon, a silver plated spoon that says University of Sheffield. I don't know all that's about. 3 very crusty coins, not much on them at all. One of them I think is George the 6th, don't know what the date is, but apart from that there's nothing on them at all. Well, not that I can see anyway. Fairly standard buckle, early 1900s, something like that. But then we dug a very nice little buckle up, which is that one, very ornate, probably from the 1700s. Might be a little shoe buckle, not entirely sure, but a very nice find all the same. And then I dug this bizarre thing up, and I was almost right. It is part of a mouth organ, but it's actually part of a child's toy harmonica, and that's how big it was. It was just a 4-tone harmonica. Not the best find in the world, but I've never found one before and I quite like it. I suppose it's a bit of a bucket lister really, but there you go. And the find of the day, I'll stand up and show you this because I want to try and make sure it's in focus, because sometimes this camera's got a mind of its own. So I'll stand up and show you this coin if I can get it in focus. And that is William III, or as he's better known, William of Orange. I'm not sure, I think that's in focus. Even with my glasses on it's difficult to tell. But that's who it is, William III. And on the other side are the 4 shields, with the date, which is 1696. If you can't see, don't worry, because I'll put a better photograph in the video at the end. Right, onto the coil. Now, it has to be said that the conditions were less than favourable. In fact, the conditions were shocking. The heat, the soil conditions, I mean 30, 32 degrees. The first top 6 inches of the soil was just like powder, it was that dry. It was terrible. But when you think about it, instead of testing the coil in perfect conditions, we really put the coil through its paces on probably what were some of the worst conditions you could get. So there is another side to this if you think about it. Now, I'm sure one of the main questions that a lot of you are thinking about is the weight of the coil. Well, obviously, purely by virtue of its size, it is a lot heavier than the stock coil. The stock coil weighs 14.7 ounces, and the large coil weighs 1 pound 11.3 ounces, which is roughly a difference of 12.6 ounces, which is quite a lot really. I mean, it's going on for a pound. Now, speaking for myself, it wasn't much of a problem because I'm quite a big bloke and I've got a lot of upper body strength. So it weren't so much of a problem for me. But if you're a person of slight build, if you were swinging that coil for 6 hours, you might have a problem. But all is not lost, because you can wear a harness to support the weight of the machine and the coil. Now, you can buy them. I don't know how much they cost, but I don't think they're very expensive. Now, I made one myself just to test it out, and it just goes over your head like that. It's made out of an old strap off an old bag. I'll just stand up a second. It's fastened at the bottom there with a carabiner. That goes around the handle of the detector, and it supports the weight of the detector very nicely. Me, I won't be wearing it because I can't be doing my tranklements like that, but I just wanted to show you it so that you know that there's something available if you think the coil is a bit too heavy. So that's the weight side of things. Now, coverage wise, well, if you look at the difference in size, I mean, there's no doubt about it. The large coil is twice as big, so you're going to get 100% more coverage. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? It did come with a coil cover, but I didn't take it with me because I didn't think I was going on ploughed. I thought I was going on pasture. But that's that. So as I say, coverage wise, you're getting a hell of a lot more coverage with the large coil. The recovery speed is just as good as the stock coil. Very fast, very good recovery speed, as you would expect with a Teknetics machine anyway, because Teknetics machines are well known for their fast recovery speed. So there was no difference there with the recovery speed, although the one thing I can pull it up on is the pinpointing. The large coil is not as accurate as pinpointing as the smaller coil, the stock coil. I think it's fairly obvious why, because if you look at the difference in size, the stock coil compared to the big coil is almost like a sniper coil. So the pinpointing with the stock coil is going to be a lot more accurate. And as I said, the large coil pinpointing, it was off up to about 3 or 4 inches on some of the holes. I can't deny that. Depth wise, it has to be said that 50% of the targets I dug in those conditions were deeper than what I would normally find with the stock coil. I can't deny that. Some of the targets were a lot deeper than I would normally dig with the stock coil. So overall, my opinion of the coil, I think it's very good. And bear in mind, the conditions that we tested it in were rubbish. I think that under much more favourable conditions, cooler weather, a lot more moisture in the ground, that coil will do very well. So overall, it gets a thumbs up from me. Now, don't all be going out to buy one because I don't think they're on the market yet. Well, at least not in this country. I know they sell them in America because I've seen them on American sites, but I don't know about England just yet. You'll just have to keep your eyes and your ears open. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the field test and the review. And just like to say thank you very much for joining me, and don't forget to check out all those channels that I mentioned. Okie dokie. I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.